the more real it is. Yes, and, there's a saying, if you give mercy, you'll get mercy. So if you treat the Lord as a person, the Lord will treat you as a person. And, if you develop a relationship with the deity, the Lord will develop his relationship with you. It really works like that. And in that way, it's very wonderful. Because otherwise people, they don't, and I don't mean like people from other religious traditions, but even in the Hindu tradition, this idea of the deity being a person and being really treated like a person is not so much there. I mean, it's sort of there, but it's all vague, and there's quite a bit of lack of clarity, shall we say, or even confusion. I can give you an example. When I was there in England, I think it was around 1975, a group of us went traveling around England doing book distribution. And we only had the one temple at the time in London. Well, there was a temple in Manchester too, but there really weren't many facilities for us to stay. We didn't know so many people. So we would stay usually in the Hindu temples. And we stayed, I remember we stayed for some days. Yeah, some days, like 4 or 5 days, 6 days, something like that, in a city called Coventry, which is sort of in the middle of England. And we stayed there in the Hindu temple. The people were very pleasant and allowed us to stay there. And there was a pujari who they had brought from India. It was like a Gujarati temple. They brought him from India, and we would chant our rounds in the temple room while he was doing some type of puja. And he would offer to the deity peanuts and rock candy, if you know what I mean. Well, peanuts, you know what I mean. Rock candy, solidified sugar. Yes. So every day that's what he would offer. And then he would offer, at the end, he would offer us a little prasad. And after a couple of days, we realized that we recognized some of the pieces of rock candy, particular pieces that had particular shapes like this. And we understood he's offering the same peanuts and rock candy every day. And that's just not the way to do it. It's really not the way to do it with anyone, actually, but particularly with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I remember another time same trip, we were staying somewhere else, I think maybe Wolverhampton, somewhere in the same general area. Nice Hindu family, very nice. And in the evening, they had an arti for their Laddu Gopal, who was named Bal Mukunda. And so we had kirtan. And in the middle of the kirtan, as the arati is being offered, the elderly granny came in and threw herself on the floor. And she was crying and rolling and trying to sort of climb up to the altar and sliding down. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. Then it all finished, and we sat down, and we were chanting or doing something. And the children came and started playing games with Bal Mukunda. And the elderly granny, she was just there. And then they started throwing Bal Mukunda around. He was bouncing off the walls and bouncing on the floor. And Granny was sitting there. And she obviously she hadn't really got it, that this is the Supreme Lord. And, you don't treat anyone like that. Throw them around. So it just shows, even though some sentiment was there, but still, the actual reality of it all was just, they really didn't have it. So to do deity worship, we have to try to embrace these understandings. First of all, that the deity is the Lord. He's not just a representational thing, or like we have photographs of our relatives. Oftentimes people have photos of their grandparents on the walls. This is quite common, I've seen. And even, I don't know about now, but in the past, men, when they would go to work in the office, they might have a picture of their wife on their desk. Don't laugh. I think it's not happening so much these days, is it? But things like this would happen. I mean, certainly pictures of relatives and so on like that, or grandparents, parents. But there's not the idea that the people are present in the picture. It's just something to remember. Yes, there they are, my late parents or late grandparents, and yes, there they are. But yeah, it's not really, the idea is not really there that they're present. It's a reminder. It's something like that. It's a reminder. But actually the Lord is present in the deity. And, I was just looking actually in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the story of Madhavendra Puri and Gopal, that Madhavendra Puri, he had been traveling around and he was staying for some days by Govinda Kund, which is right next to Govardhan Hill in the Vrindavan area. So one night, he had a dream, and Gopal, this deity Gopal, appeared in his dream and spoke to him and said that some years ago, the people from this village, this village was attacked. And so the people, they buried me in some like foresty area, like thick forest where people aren't really going to go. They buried me there so that the people who were attacking would not destroy me. So, and in his dream, in Madhavendra Puri's dream, Gopal said that, I've been here for a long time, a few hundred years, and it's very hot and dry. So will you please gather the people and take shovels and spades and things, and I'll indicate where I am, and can you have them dig me out? So he did that. Madhavendra Puri organized the villages, and they did that, and that place where they sort of removed him from under the ground, that place is still there, and there's a nice temple there now, right at the foot of Govardhan Hill, more or less. So, yes, the deity spoke to him in a dream. And so they did that. And they took the deity out, and Madhavendra Puri had him placed on top of the hill. And they had massive festival which went on for weeks. For weeks. Yes. So it's really so nice. Treating the deity as a person, and not just a person, but as the supreme person, the most important person in our lives, because that's actually what Krishna is. We have generally people have many people who are important in their lives, their parents and maybe their own children or their husband or their wife and friends, relatives, and so on. All these people play important parts in their lives, and they have like close relationships with many of them because they play a part in their lives. But if we really think about it, we'll see that Krishna is playing the greatest part in our lives, greater than the part that anyone else is playing. Because, of course, our parents have given us our bodies, so to speak, but actually Krishna has given us our bodies via the agency of our parents. But if Krishna had not played his part, we would not have got bodies. We would not be living. And then he's maintaining us, the breath, the air we breathe, and all these things, the water, the liquids we drink, the food we eat. All these things are coming from Krishna they're coming in different ways, but ultimately the devotee knows that they're coming from Krishna, and the devotee recognizes that. So it's a matter of recognizing Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada created the term Krishna consciousness, and if you analyze the term, it's quite straightforward. Krishna consciousness means being or becoming conscious of Krishna. It's not just the Krishna worshipping movement. It's the Krishna consciousness movement. So the idea is that ultimately, that through engaging in the process of Krishna consciousness, including deity worship, we actually become conscious of Krishna's presence. We recognize his presence in our lives, and then we respond to that. Yes, we respond, first of all, with some gratitude, some thankfulness for all the different things that Krishna has done and is doing. And so gratitude is more like an emotion, to feel grateful, to feel thankful. But then the next stage is to reciprocate. If someone really does something for you which is wonderful and it helps you, then you must, if you don't feel grateful, then that's terrible. It means you're hard-hearted. But after gratitude comes, like if the mood of gratitude really has some depth to it, after the gratitude comes reciprocation. So that's Krishna consciousness. We must reciprocate with the Lord. And ultimately, we should, all of us, whether we're householders or whoever we are, whatever we are, we should all dedicate our lives to reciprocating through rendering service, doing different things for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. We should do like that. And then it all comes sort of full circle. So this is very nice. Krishna consciousness is really nice like that. It has much greater depth than just going to the temple or church or mosque or synagogue, whatever, and just praying, give me this and give me that. But rather than thinking, what can God do for me, we should think, what can I do for him? So yes, so the process of deity worship is really very important, because the deity, you can see, you interact with the deity in ways that you interact with a person, like particularly a dependent person, like a child. A child, the parents have to wash, the parents have to clean, to dress, and get them sort of presentable, and then, manage them so they don't go running out onto the street or hurt themselves or smash things, or you all know what I mean. Yes, it's a big job. It's a very big job to be a parent. And to worship the deity is basically the same type of thing. Just like Prabhupada said, Mother Yashoda in Vrindavan, she actually feels that he's my son. And if I don't feed him, he'll go hungry. Yes. If I don't wash him, he'll just be dirty and then more dirty and even more dirty. And if I don't dress him, he'll just run around with no clothes on. Mother Yashoda's feeling, I've got to do these things, because if I don't, they're not going to happen. He's not going to do them. He can't do them. So Srila Prabhupada said that the devotees worshipping the deity should feel like that. That if we don't bathe the deity, he's going to be in an unclean state. And that's just not right from any point of view. If we don't feed him, he's going to be hungry. Like sometimes when devotees go on holiday, like we're going to have, it appears we're going to have a Rath Yatra in Durban again over Easter. And I'm sure many of you will come. So sometimes devotees come and they put their deities to rest. And they come and leave the deities in a type of sleeping condition, which, it can be done according to standards of deity worship. It's not like it's just wrong. It can be done, but it's not the best. Better is to take the deities with you. And, and sometimes we say in programs like this, sometimes parents want to go on holiday just themselves. So they put the dog in the kennels and they hand the children over to Granny so Granny can relive her youth when she was a mother. And they go off. Yeah. But can you imagine leaving your young children at home and telling them, just sleep, we'll be back in 2 weeks. It's not ideal, put it that way. Although in a technical sense, it can be done with deities, but it's not ideal. So when we have deities, we should really, really treat them like persons. I used to worship the Govardhan Shila, some of you might remember. And I remember doing the full puja while sitting in New Delhi airport with all people moving around and everything. I remember doing the puja a few times on aeroplanes. Yeah. You know, you can do it mentally. That's also possible, but it's nicer to actually do it. So now our Aindra Chaitanya Prabhu, we all know Aindra Chaitanya Prabhu. There he is. We all know him. By mercy of the devotees, he is, well, the Lord has agreed to allow him to worship him. Okay, thank you. Well, it's true. It's like that, actually. Yeah, the Lord has agreed. And, well, we all know Aindra Chaitanya Prabhu. I know him from like a couple of days after he was born. He was what you call like an early child. Yeah, a couple of months early. And we went and looked at him in the sort of, whatever, not an incubator, is it, but that sort of machine. Yeah, I've known him that long. It's a long time. So, look, we're old friends. You can say, really old friends. So, he's a serious devotee. And then when he was young, anyway, as he's grown up, he's really become a serious devotee, and that's great. It's just such a credit to his parents, who are very serious and very nice devotees. So my prediction is he will look after this Govardhan Shila very, very nicely. I think he'll really look after him. And in that way, he'll develop a relationship with him, and the Shila will develop a relationship with him. And in this way, things in his life will go deeper and deeper in Krishna consciousness, and will really help him. And I hope, and I'm sure from time to time, he'll let all of us have darshan. Yeah. And his Govardhan Shila will come out from time to time in festivals, and like particularly Govardhan Puja and so on like that. So it's good. And you heard, we read what Prabhupada was saying there. And he actually says a bit more too. But I think you got the basic idea what Prabhupada was saying. That Prabhupada was encouraging that householders, and it means particularly householders who don't live close to a temple where they could go to and participate in the worship in the temple. The home deity worship is particularly for householders like that. I mean, not always, but particularly as a facility. And yes, so if the householders really look after their deities very nicely, with devotion, with attention, with care, like that, then Krishna will take care of them. He really will. And like we mentioned with Madhavendra Puri, the deity spoke to him in a dream. And there are other accounts of deities speaking in the story, which was also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, of Sakshi Gopal, the one young man was appealing to Gopal, this big deity in one of the temples in Vrindavan, that you witnessed that a promise was made to me, and now I want you to come and be a witness that yes, I heard that this promise was made. That was the request of the young man. And the deity said that, but it's a long way. It's a long way to where you want me to go. I'm a deity. I just stand here. How am I meant to get down to that place? And the deity replied, well, listen, if you can talk, I think you can walk. So please come. And Sakshi and Gopal said, yeah, you checkmated me there. So then he walked. So deities do things like this. This is very high level. But in some cases, some deities do like that. I remember, I think we're ready, isn't it? Are we ready for the arati? Yes. We are, okay. I remember once in Los Angeles, the devotees dressed Rukmini, Dwarkadish, the Radha Krishna deities there. They dressed Krishna with a long wig, like down past his waist, really a long wig. And Srila Prabhupada, when he sat on the Vyasasan to give class, he was looking at the deity, and he commented that this wig is too long. It's too long. Must use a shorter wig. Okay. Then Prabhupada gave the class. Then at the end of the class, as he was stepping off the Vyasasan and looking at the deity, Prabhupada said, actually, the wig is all right. Krishna likes the wig. So, there were occasions when Prabhupada revealed, or appeared to reveal that he had some sort of very intimate relationship with deities, of that there were like exchanges going on. So we're not on that level. And Aindra Chaitanya Prabhu, he's a good young man, but he's not on that level. But if we carry on, that's what it's all about, isn't it? To develop our relationship with Krishna. As Srila Prabhupada told Bhakti Charu Maharaj, who told me personally, said that what is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness is the development of a personal relationship with Krishna, disguised as a process. You're actually developing a relationship, but it's disguised as a process. Do this, don't do that, and rules and regulations, which you don't normally find just in relationships. So, Aindra Chaitanya Prabhu, I am praying to Srila Prabhupada. I am praying to Sri Giri Govardhan to accept your worship and for you to really look after him and be very personal about it. And he'll be very personal with you. And you'll just transform and become advanced. Hare Krishna. Shri Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. And now, oh yes. And can he lead kirtan?
Yeah.
Are you ready to lead kirtan? Okay, it won't take you too long to get set up. Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. So everyone can stand up for the arati.